For centuries, not a single word from heaven. No prophets, no angels, no miracles, just silence. But why would the God who spoke to Abraham, thundered at Sinai, and whispered to Elijah, suddenly go quiet? For 400 years, the world waited, kings rose and fell, nations clashed, hope faded, until, in the most unexpected moment, heaven broke the silence. This is the story of the greatest silence in history, and why it had to happen. The last voice they heard was Prophet Malachi. His final words hang in the air like smoke. The Son of Righteousness will rise with healing in his wings. He also promised that, behold, I will send Elijah the prophet before the great and dreadful day of the Lord. Then silence. No more visions. No more thunderous declarations. No more fire from heaven. The curtain falls on the Old Testament. And for the next 400 years, God says nothing, not a whisper, not a word, no divine voice, no new prophecy. Just the echo of Malachi's words. Fading into history, the world keeps turning. Empires rise and fall. Persia fades, Greece conquers, Rome builds roads and crushes rebellions. But in Israel, the silence is deafening. The people wait, and wait, and wait. Generations came and went. Grandfathers told their grandchildren, God will send the Messiah soon, but soon never came. They cling to promises like lifelines. They recite the words of Isaiah, of Jeremiah, of Daniel. But heaven remains closed. No prophets, no angels, just silence. And in that silence, questions grow louder. Has God forgotten us? Was it all just a myth? Where is the Messiah? Years turning into decades, decades into centuries, but silence doesn't mean absence. Behind the veil of history, God is orchestrating a masterpiece. The Greek language spreads, one tongue to carry the gospel. For the first time in history, the world spoke one main language, Greek, so the good news could travel fast. Roman roads are built, highways for missionaries. Rome built roads so missionaries could reach the ends of the earth. Synagogues pop up across the world, ready-made hubs for teaching. And scattered Jewish communities prepared the world to understand the one true God. Even the pain has purpose. The oppression under Rome, it stirs longing. The corruption of the priesthood, it creates hunger for truth. The silence, it makes the shout of the angel that much louder. God isn't late, he's layering the canvas. Then one day, in a forgotten temple corner, an old priest named Zechariah lights incense. Suddenly, after 400 years, an angel appears. Your prayer has been heard. Your wife will bear a son, John, who will prepare the way for the Lord. The silence shatters. Heaven speaks, and the first word isn't thunder. It's preparation. John the Baptist is born. The forerunner, the voice crying in the wilderness. And soon after, in a manger in Bethlehem, the wait was over. The Word became flesh. Heaven's voice was no longer in scrolls. It walked among men. So, why did God wait 400 years? Because he moves in perfect time, not ours. Because when he acts, the whole world is ready to hear. Because silence is not punishment, it's preparation. Because sometimes, the longer the wait, the louder the impact. Because when God finally speaks, it's not just to inform, it's to transform. And maybe, just maybe, the silence was the setup for the greatest sound the world would ever hear. This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Maybe you feel like you're in your own 400 years of silence. No answers, no signs, just waiting. Prayers seem unanswered. Heaven feels closed. But what you can't see is that God is aligning things you haven't imagined. If you're waiting, hold on. God's silence is not the end. It's the setup for a greater beginning. Also remember, God's silence is never his absence. He's building roads in your soul. He's preparing the language of your testimony. He's setting the stage. Because when he finally speaks, it will shake everything. So hold on. The silence is sacred, and the shout is coming. After 400 years of silence, heaven spoke, and the Word himself walked among us. He healed the sick, opened blind eyes, and gave his life to save the world. And on the third day, the silence was broken forever. So remember this: God's silence is not his absence. Your waiting season is not wasted. The author of history is still writing your story, and his timing is perfect. If this message stirred your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and tell me in the comments, what have you been waiting for God to do? And if you want more true stories from the Bible, told with the power and beauty they deserve, subscribe now, because here we bring the word to life.